Welcome. We're back. We're back for another edition of the podcast for the countdown to the Whole Women's Wellness Conference. And you like, Dre, what is the Whole Women's Wellness Conference? I'm glad you asked. The Whole Women's Wellness Conference is a conference that we've been doing annually for the last 5 years. That's right, 5 years. We've been doing this conference. And what is this conference all about? We love to target the wealth, the word, relationships. Yes, we get a little spicy with relationships, wellness, and worship. So many times we miss out on one of those things. We're real good in our word, but we're not as good with our wellness. We're real good in this area, but we're not as good in this area. And the Whole Women's Wellness Conference is just that. We want to make sure you're whole all the way around. Like, we want every part of you to be whole. We want you to be whole in your money. We want your money to be talking to you. Want be good things to be happening in that area. And we have one of my favorites with us on today. And we're going to be talking about relationships a little bit. So we're going to get into that. The last episode, I feel like it was more of a wellness episode, and wellness really, to me, it comes from some therapeutic places, and sometimes it could be physical, like just running, getting out, jogging, doing some things like that. But it's also with our mind and the things that we are opening ourselves up to or not opening ourselves up to. And as we talked about last week, we talked about vulnerability. And this week, we want to kind of tackle some things that us singles go through. And I kind of want to switch it up, Jessica. I hope you don't mind. I know you're probably like, what she gonna do? But Jessica, I kind of want to switch it up a little bit and add another spin to it. So I want us to kind of get a little vulnerable on this episode. We're going to talk about how long we've been single. How has it been being single? What is dating like for us? What does it look like? And we're going to get a little vulnerable on this episode. Right. And then we want to kind of go into what has being single taught us, and what have we done in those moments where we were lonely? Because sometimes we hear the word lonely and it can be maybe like kind of a little down. Like it's not the most happiest word, but it's a true feeling. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I think as we become more vulnerable, I do want us to express those true feelings and how we can show up healthily even in those seasons. Okay?
Yeah. All right.
I'm going to introduce my guest, even though I just gave her like a little spiel of what we're going to talk about. But Jessica, can you tell us who you are and how many years have you been in therapy?
Okay. My name is Jessica Rogers. That's my government, but I go by Jessica Renee on social media. I am from Kentucky. I have been doing therapy for the last 3.5 years, going on 4. I've been in the field of social work for the last 12 years. What else? What else do we want to know? Okay.
That's good. And now we're gonna get into we're gonna dive a little deep, and I'll go deep first before you go, so you can see that it's easy. I'm gonna go ahead and go into the deep water. So my first question was for myself: how long have I been single? I was engaged in 2022 and 2023. So for the last 2 years, I have been single and dating. Right. What about you, Jessica?
Well, okay. So do we put dating into this as a single? Like, okay, so the last guy I dated, right, that was like exclusively. So this is where I have a hard time answering this question. I'm not trying to go around it. But the guy I was dating exclusively was 3.5 years ago. And that was a relationship we had tried once. Then we it was like okay, and then we remained friends because we had a friendship first, and then we tried again, and it was like okay, we're not meant to be. So it came to an end. Still, like we no animosity. Like we can still have a conversation today. Um, but yes, I've been trying to date. Trying to date. I've had some dates, but uh, not successfully. It's rough out here. It's rough
Okay.
out here.
Okay, like I said, we going deep. So she had said some things that I was like, well, I don't feel like I'm at the place. I do hope one day I could get to the place where I'll be able to have a conversation with my ex. But we are not at that place, and I don't know how we will get there.
You don't
You
have
know,
to be there. You
just
don't
a
have
lot
to.
of prayer, a lot of
But
prayer,
some
a
people
lot of
are meant
prayer.
to stay in the past, right? Like we
Yeah,
had that foundation before we tried a relationship.
yeah,
So,
we did too.
oh, okay. Well, but sometimes, hey, sometimes it's meant to just be like, okay, there's a reason why it's staying there. That's okay.
And I feel like that's a good thing to kind of note that there are seasons where people are in your life, and sometimes seasons, sometimes reasons, sometimes lifetimes.
Right.
And I have become more accepting of that here lately. I know back in my 20s, my early 30s, it was hard for me to let go of relationships because I didn't want to be lonely, because I didn't want to be by myself. I didn't want to be alone.
I can have a
And
peaceful person. It's better than having nothing.
no, 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 not not
Okay.
not not to that extent.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good. Good. Good.
Not to
Good.
that extent. But okay, so what I mean by that is having certain relationships, especially relationships that I feel like I had for a long time,
Okay.
and something would happen
Hmm.
where it would kind of be like telling me, Dre, this is the end of this. And I would try to hold on to that um in friendships.
Mm.
Um I know I probably like two or three friendships that I remember like really, really, really not wanting to let go of.
Hmm.
And like God just allowing like me moving, things to change. And it just so happened that, right now I don't feel like the people who I'm talking about, we're in a bad place.
Yeah.
And if we are and you watching this, I'm sorry. But I don't feel like we in a bad place. I just feel like, our lives went separate ways. Our lives went different ways. Like, maybe they started having kids and they started doing maybe getting married and doing other things.
Yeah.
And I just, was living my little single life, and doing my own thing and moving around,
Right.
and exploring, and so people can grow
Hmm.
apart physically,
Yeah.
like physically, like you over here, I'm over here, but I wish you well.
Right.
But in the beginning, before learning that I can do that, I
Hmm.
was like, let me try. Let me try to hold on to this. Let me try to hold on to it.
Hmm.
And it was more so holding on to the friendships than to a relationship. Now,
Mm.
in my relationships, if any of my exes watch this, I love y'all. No harm, no foul. But in my relationships, I have been like the person who is ready to just be like, okay, deuces.
Okay.
Like, that's been me.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not trying to hold on to no piece of nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-mm,
Okay.
mm-mm. That's not me. But friendships, I think I feel more like drawn to be like, this is my friend and I don't want to let her go.
Gotcha.
So that kind of leads me to my next question.
Mhm.
Um, how have you shown up in the dating scene? and in friendships. So in this season, um, I'm in my 40s. You don't have to tell how old you are, but you can say where you are and how have you shown up, and or I could go first if you want me to. How have you shown up dating and friendships?
I'm in my late 30s. I'm 38. I don't care to say how old I am. Um, Dating for me, I guess. So I also have the other layer of being a single parent. So um, I feel like I'm fighting stigma of just being a single parent. I feel like I'm fighting stigma because I work in a female dominated career. And so I'm not around a lot of men. Um, and then in my area the beauty standard is not me, and so I feel like I'm fighting a lot of different battles just trying to date, and then because I'm not in a male a wide career that has
Diversified.
diversified with men. Online dating has been where I've tried to kind of position myself to be found. But everybody knows online dating has its own struggles, a whole unique set of struggles.
It
Um,
does.
and so really, I just pray about how, God positioned me to be seen. So, I like to be in my house, but I'm not one of those people who like, okay, he's just going to show up on my doorstep. I know that I
Right.
need to also position myself. And so, again, I can't always be out and about. So I really try to take a hold of the opportunities that I think I might have to meet somebody in a space. So whether that's when I go out to that space, I present myself the best way possible. Um, you know, People don't hook people up anymore. Like, hey, I know this guy. He might,
And why not?
I don't know. And and I think too, churches do a big disservice because if we could have more kingdom marriages. I think that's another thing added to it too. Like when you're looking for a more Christ-centered relationship, not a more Christ-centered, a Christ-centered relationship, that brings the pot even smaller. Because because everybody's just living how they want to live, and I hate to each their own. But I know what I want, and it's just hard to come about. So
Well, thank you for sharing. Listen, we are getting vulnerable tonight. We are letting it all out. I have definitely in my dating been very much an online dater.
Mhm.
I have used platforms such as Facebook dating. Um, what's another? I want to say Bumble. Okay, yes, I did Bumble for like maybe a couple months, but I was like, oh no, I can't do this. So Bumble is where the woman has to say something first before the man is able. So it's more of, I guess, the lady dropping the hanky.
Yeah, yeah,
And then the man either responding, saying, hey, I want to get to know you, or, no response at all.
right.
Um, Again, I don't really like that because I want to know upfront whether you're interested in me first. So I would rather you be the person to come to me first, because I do like to be pursued.
Yes.
Um, and proof of desire is pursuit.
Hmm.
So if this person is desiring me and they want to be with me and they're not pursuing me, that means that somewhere the desire is off.
Yeah. I totally agree. Like, and I think that again, that's that other layer of dating online is because is the grass going to be greener on the other side? Let me keep swipe, let me accept, swipe, so yeah.
So I have found that I have went on some dates on Facebook from Facebook dating, and I have also had some conversations from there. And I do feel like later in life, because I do feel like I'm in my later in life stage. And I'm learning that every day when I see men and they're in their 30s and I'm like, you in your 30s and you look like you're the same age as me. And I'm like, man, I'm getting older. But anyways, um, when with Facebook dating, I have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed like actually getting to know some people and some people who I have already known but never talked to.
Yeah.
So that has been interesting. That has been interesting. Um, but the one thing that I am kind of like ready to like get over is dating. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to the place where I'm not going on dates, where I'm not getting to know someone, and I'm with the person who I'm supposed to be with.
Right.
And I remember telling somebody this. I feel like that was a vulnerable moment. But anyways, I remember telling somebody this, and them looking at me. Well, not looking because we was on
Yeah.
the phone, but them kind of being like, you got to date before you can.
Get there.
But I'm like, can we just skip the dating part and just go into, we're in a relationship, we're in a courtship, we're marriage minded. But the one thing I think in that moment when they kind of gave me that, like, girl, what you talking about? I had to understand that there is power in the journey.
Mm.
And don't rush the journey trying to get to a destination
Yeah.
when the journey can teach you more than the destination.
Mm.
And I think I even had to learn that in understanding loneliness
Mm.
because there was different emotions that when I first understood what I was going through, because it was like maybe like after the holidays and going into spring,
Mm.
I just had an overwhelming sense of just something. I didn't know what it was. I just like, I'm feeling something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to my therapist, and she was like, I think you're just lonely. And I was like, but I'm around people all the time. And I even have more people around me now because my brother and his children are staying with me. Like, how could I be lonely? Like, this is me in my therapy session to ask my how me lonely? I don't. And she was just expressing to me some of my desires that I haven't been met.
Mm.
And even though I'm doing, and being, there's still a yearning and a longing for partnership and companionship.
Mm.
And my husband,
Right.
um, that is still there, and it's very, very, it shows up and is very prevalent in my psyche. Um, the subconscious, a lot of times, works and it shows up in different ways in our bodies.
Mm.
Um, and I think in this moment, because I had these like feelings of sadness and feelings of, and everything was like going great during this time. Like I had so much good things going on.
Mm.
And I'm like, why do I feel this? And she was like, because it's a human emotion. And it is okay to feel it. And you can feel more than one emotion at the same time. And when I heard that for like maybe the 50th time, because I've had more than one therapist, and this is not the first therapist to tell me that, but
You was ready to receive it now.
I was ready to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying I didn't receive it the first, second, or third, or 50th time, but this time I received it in a different way. Because
Mm.
sometimes when seeds are planted in us with words, it takes a little bit for us to like get it rooted in us. And
Yeah.
like it's okay to have more than one emotion. You can be happy and you can be lonely. You could be sad and you could be glad. You
Yeah.
can be winning and sometimes feel like this isn't enough.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
So for you, I know I kind of went in that real quick, but for you, how have you coped with or dealt with loneliness in your single season, and what practical ways did you get over it, or not
So,
get over it, but get to a place where you felt something different?
yeah, okay. Well, so I kind of therapize myself at times. I ask myself questions because, I when as my daughter has gotten older, that's kind of when more loneliness for me had set in at times because she's driving now. I don't have to be all over the place. And so I really had more time to just be sitting and just being kind of still. And so one day I was like, I knew it was loneliness, right? I knew it was feeling lonely, but I have learned in my life that you choose wrong when you're lonely. So it wasn't that I was like, it wasn't my first response anymore. It wasn't like, okay, let me go try to seek some attention, right? But I asked myself this. I was I think it was the beginning of the year because I had felt lonely again, and I know for me it's the same. Like I would like my partner. I have those feelings too when I'm out and about. I'm like, dang, this would be so nice if I just had my person here with me. I'm tired of like I love traveling. I love going places with my daughter, but some places you just be like, dang, this would be really nice to enjoy with somebody that you love. You know, um, but I learned from myself when I'm feeling lonely, I'm actually feeling loving. And so, yes, I want to love on somebody. So for me, loneliness is me wanting to love on somebody. And usually I notice that when I feel like that, like because when Naya's home, like I'll go give her a hug, or I'll tell her I love her, but when she's not here, I and that unbeknownst to me, she wanted a cat, and so I don't mind cats. I love cats, but I really wasn't. We've spent so long not having pets, but getting a pet has helped too because I can love on my cats, right? So my friends make fun of me like, "Oh, you a cat lady already?" I'm like, "No, I am a mother of cats," but I say I'm a woman who has cats because I'm not
You
claiming.
only had one, right?
No, I had two.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I am a woman who has cats. I'm not a cat lady because we're not claiming that, okay? Um and so but yeah, for me, I asked myself, I was like, Lord, well, I asked the Lord and I asked myself, I was like, why am I feeling so lonely? Like what is going on here? Like, I'm busy, whatever. But I had to understand that I was translating I loneliness for me is I'm feeling loving. That's for me. Like I can't say that's how you're feeling because I don't know. But that's usually what it means. I am feeling loving in this moment. I have nothing. I have no one to love on.
I just have to do a Selah moment on that because I do feel like that could be true for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like for a lot of us singles, I heard, okay, so y'all don't get on me when I say this, but I heard Brandy and Monica having a conversation, and um and Monica told Brandy, and this was so good. I was like, yes. But she says, you're too young and you have too much love to give to be a hopeless romantic.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be a hopeful romantic.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to allow love in. Because Brandy was like, I don't feel like everybody has a soulmate, and that chapter of my life is over. And Monica was like, girl, you too
Monica,
young.
Monica been through it, right? We all know.
Right.
She knows.
Right. She definitely been through it. Yeah.
No pain, okay?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like that moment when she told her that, it encouraged me. Um, I don't think I'm the same age. I think Brandy might be a little bit older than me, but I do feel like I think she's in her 40s, and I do feel like women in their 40s sometimes, especially Black women, we get to a place where we just become content, and we love still, because what Brandy was telling Monica was like, I am so happy, for you and yo man. And she was like, even you, still, being a hopeful romantic and being able to open yourself to love again. And Monica was like, I just wish, because we was friends. She was saying that they were friends, her and the guy that she's with now. And she's like, I just wish we would have connected sooner. And I was thinking while I was watching, I'm like, but it's like the right time, it's the right place. Everything happens for a reason. And I do believe in divine timing. So saying that to say that there is so much love to give. And in the moments where we are lonely or we do have that feeling of loneliness, giving love away is an amazing practical way to fill that void, to fill that need for connection. And I do that sometimes unknowingly, and until you said it, I was like, that is true. Because I would go around, because my nieces and nephews, they're all teenagers, so I would go in their rooms, give TT a hug.
Yeah.
Give me a hug, because that they be locked up in their rooms.
Yep.
Even in my brother, give me a hug. I'll call my daddy. He don't live too far. I'm like, Dad, I need a hug, and he'll come give me a hug. But having that outlet of being able to love on someone in your single season, whether it's your family member, a friend, or your cat or your dog or whatever it is, I feel like that to me is like an amazing practical way. Thank you so much to our neighborhood therapist Jessica for coming on again and sharing with us and being vulnerable and sharing some of your dating woos and woes. But we are believing for better. We're speaking life into the dating community. We're speaking life into our dating journey, and even into our next relationships. We're speaking even now that the right man is already seeing us, and he is just waiting for us to say yes, because we're saying yes when he comes. Yes. And we are ready. Thank you again for watching. Remember, the Whole Woman Wellness Conference is coming up. Yes. It's coming to a city near you. Yes, I said it, a city near you. And you want to go on Eventbrite right now and register for the Whole Woman Wellness Conference. It's going to be August the 23rd through the 25th. And when you go on Eventbrite, you do have to register for each individual day. So you're going to go register for one day, then you're going to register for the next day, then you're going to register for the last day. 3-day conference. Super excited to actually share with you the people who I admire, because I feel like sometimes we have voices in our life that we don't share. And sometimes we gatekeep those people. But I ain't doing that. I'm sharing them with y'all. So y'all come on to the Women's Wellness Conference. Is there anything you would like to share, or just where they can find you at, or where they can get more information about what you talk about when you talking?
If you want to find me, I'm Jessica Renee on Facebook. Come hit me up. I'll be glad to have you.
Thank you so much for joining. Have an amazing day. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.